Some dramatic stories from people who stepped in to help after that deadly landslide in Ketchikan. And that includes a pastor that I had the pleasure of speaking with this morning.
I looked out of our window and saw a power pole in front of us bend over. I've told people like a fishing rod and then snap back. And I thought, man, that's not good.
Ketchikan pastor Alan McElroy thought a car hit the power pole outside his home about 4 o'clock Sunday afternoon. He ran outside to help.
Walking down the street and it's just covered with debris, it's covered with dirt and trees and things. And I'm trying to work my way over to the houses that are clearly affected.
On the other side of the slide,
this is terrible.
We were just there for garage sale last weekend. It was an incredible house. So when I looked up, I noticed immediately that there was something wrong.
Rhonda Ball was recording video of James and Bill Montevere's home.
The house collapsed and shook and fell. It just like, you see on television. It felt like it had been picked up and dropped somewhere.
As James yelled for help, McElroy answered.
But I found this shovel and I started hacking through the brush and trying to find my way over to the house and was able to hack through enough to get to a fence, climbed over a fence. And James and Bill's deck was just ripped apart. So it was like walking on all this, uneven boards and water's rushing down. And I was able to work my way around and found James standing on what is left of his house, about 5 or 6 feet up, water rushing by in his socks.
James told McElroy Bill was stuck in the kitchen. McElroy says his Army training kicked in. He made his way toward Bill to stay with him until first responders arrived.
My extra tufts are filling up with water, and there's diesel fuel coming down as I'm climbing up, I think, for a minute, and I'm like, man, what in the world? If this house shifts, I'm done, right? If there's another slide, I'm done. But like I said, I'm a pastor, and I remembered what our congregation and I were studying in the Bible that morning, and God is sovereign. All things are in his hands, and that's just what I kept telling myself.
We had never met him before, but apparently his family was also evacuated after the fact, and he came down to help even though he had left his family behind.
Just a great guy.
Bill Montevere was eternally grateful.
About that time, I see two beautiful firemen, come around the corner with chainsaws and crowbars. I'm like, all right. So I stayed up there with those guys, tried to assist, tried to stay out of the way as well. Got to hold a chainsaw and whatnot.
Cutting through walls with chainsaws, Bill was saved, but McElroy was not done. He opened his church doors to the community.
We didn't have any electricity either, but we had water. It was out of the rain, because it's pouring rain during this ordeal.
Providing water and shelter, McElroy says he's proud to be a member of the Ketchikan community and wants to continue to help.
Seeing where we can help with the cleanup, which I think, our community, Ketchikan, they're on point. I went up to the high school the other day, and there's just clothes and food and stuff everywhere. And so the community has really come out in support of everyone who was displaced during this.
Great chat with McElroy there. He says that his church, White Cliff Church, was able to provide roughly $2,000 worth of gift cards to buy clothes and toiletries to the Ketchikan community.